Okay, let's do more about resonance. We said then arrow convention show the flow of electrons, the movement of electrons. And also, we need to keep into account the octect rule. Okay, so that says that elements in the second period of the periodic table cannot exceed 8 electrons around. And those are the electrons in the atoms in the second period. So lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. That's my second period in the periodic table. Those here, we can never break the octet rule. They don't have the orbitals. So that's something that we must remember. So thinking about that, when we were in the previous videos, when we did this exercise, then we moved electrons from the nitrogen over to make a double bond here, but because we cannot break the octet rule for elements in the second period, and here's carbon, we must draw a second arrow assigning the electrons to the oxygen. That's why we did that, not to break the octet rule. The other thing, formal charges. Keep into account, right? So must remember those things. So here is my resonance chart. I believe this looks a little crowded, so I'm going to erase that. All right, I like that better. So this is my resonance hybrid this time. Now I'm going to draw bad arrows so that you know what we cannot do, because we cannot break the octet rule. So here we go. If I have, this is I'm going to draw an sp3 carbon, and next to it, I'm going to have an oxygen with formal negative charge. Didn't look right. Notice that I like to put my formal charges in a circle. So now, say that I want to do this movement of electron. That is forbidden. That's bad. The reason why it's not right is because already carbon here has 4 bonds, and that means 8 electrons around, and we cannot break the octet rule. So that's a bad arrow. I cannot propose that. So let me do one more. Say that I have now this nitrogen, and now again having an oxygen nearby, negatively charged, and say that I propose again moving electrons over here. But now notice I cannot to do one movement like that, we need, if we cannot have 2 arrows, say, trying to keep my octet complete, then that movement is forbidden. For example, here I move those electrons over here, but the nitrogen already has, say, 2, 4, 6, 8 electrons around. So octet was complete. So I cannot do that. That is another bad arrow, forbidden movement. And let's do something else that we cannot do. Say that I have now, this will be its oxide, and let's think that somebody or propose doing this. That's another bad arrow, forbidden. Why is that? That is an sp3 carbon. And that sp3 carbon, that means this is a CH2. So let's complete that. That would be CH2, CH3. That means the carbon here has 1, 2 bonds, and then 2 bonds to the hydrogen. That's 4 bonds, meaning 8 electrons already. So I cannot expand the octet. So that arrow is another forbidden movement. So those are things we cannot break. Here it is. We cannot break this rule for elements in the second period of the periodic table.